Hi friends, hope this finds everybody doing well out there. Welcome to this recovery video. This video is about the Anhedonia Scale. So I want to jump right into it. This is some of the science that I found really helped me during early recovery. In early recovery, as we've put away our alcohol and our drugs, things start to change. Not just in our immediate life, inside of us as well. As we start feeling better and become more healthy, things in our brains start to follow suit, doing the same thing. And things that have been really messed up for a while start to level out and become normal again. Now this takes time, and that's the reason that we feel really crappy in the beginning of early recovery. Basically, our life has been really rough. We've abused ourselves, our brains, our bodies, everything, and it's really thrown things out of whack. So what I'm going to do is explain to the best of my understanding the science that helped me in those moments where I was struggling, realized that the struggle wasn't going to last forever. Eventually, it was going to get better. And then after it got better, it was going to get a lot better even after that. So I just want to run you through it real quick, check out what we've got going on. So, anhedonia is described as the inability to feel pleasure, basically. It's something that happens to most people. It can happen for different reasons. Drug and alcohol abuse, hitting way too many highs in life, like successes or very strong romances that make us feel good all the time, and then nothing else compares to that. Lots of different reasons. I'm just going to go over the basic science behind it, though. Okay, so where's my pen? Now, what this is going to be a time scale, basically. Time is moving from the starting point here at the beginning of the day to the finishing point here when we go back to sleep. Now, this is 0. That's going to be our baseline, just normal spot, right? That's just us if nothing happens during the day. So as we're going along in our day, stuff happens. So like, let's say we wake up and we have breakfast. We were hungry, so breakfast is pretty good. You know, we go through our day, stuff happens, and then like we're hungry again, so we have lunch. Well, we were really hungry, so that was better than pretty good. It was really good, you know? And then maybe we get off work, so that's good. We go on a date, right? That's better than just good. Maybe like the date ends really well, right? Well, that's like as good as it gets. We're gonna hit the top of the scale right there. Then like, you know, we go home and stuff happens. We take the dog out and it's all just basic stuff. And then like maybe a movie we like comes on, right? So we're happy about that. And then time for bed. And that's been basically our day. So these numbers here show us how happy we've been when certain things happen, right? So throughout the day, we've hit a 1, a 2, and a 3, couple 2s. I mean, that sounds pretty good to me, right? And so, now this is how it's supposed to work. Now, if we go back again, though, and we introduce drugs into our system, right? This whole thing changes now. It runs a lot, all right. It runs very similar to this. So let's go over this very same day, except let's add drugs to it, right? Or alcohol. Either will work just as fine in this spot. And that's a pretty good addict thing to say, right? So, going through our day. Well, now the drugs make everything better. So from now on with the drugs, we're not going to just be hitting a 1. When we get to the 1, we're already riding at 1, right? You know what I mean? So we get to 1, and that makes this just even better. So now even these little things that weren't registering before, they're hitting 1s. This guy's almost to a 2. This 2 goes to a 3, right? These guys just keep maxing. We get to the really good one. Now we've shot over the top. You know, these guys, That looks like a crazy day, doesn't it? That's, yeah. What we're interested in here is this one, really. This one that pushes over the top. Let's say just a few more good things happen, right? And maybe a few more of these go up over the measurable amount of happiness, because that's what this is. This is happiness. We're happy. These things are happening and they're making us happy. And the drugs and alcohol are making us even happier. So everything is just making us so happy now, right? And what happens, if this is a weekend, yeah, no big deal, right? Shake it off, walk away. If this becomes habitual every single day for a very long time, in my case, years, the brain does something very interesting. The brain normalizes itself. The brain likes to know what it's doing, what's happening, and why, and what to do about it. So stuff like this, though the brain's feeling real good, it wants to normalize things because this isn't normal, and it knows that. The brain's job, the subconscious part of the brain's job, is to keep us okay and moving, basically, right? So after a while, the brain is going to scrub the whole thing and start over. So now it starts by drawing a new baseline. The brain figures, okay, we're pinging up here on this off the chart board here. We're going to have to reset the chart. So let's just come in here and let's say that this is now our happy point, right? And then we're going to erase 1. Change all the numbers around because this isn't right anymore. All right, so we got 1, 2, 3. There, okay. Now the brain has normalized. This is what stuff is supposed to look like to the brain, right? Everything is back like it should be. Now all of a sudden an interesting thing happens. Well, we're getting drunk or we're getting high, we're not getting where we want to get anymore, right? Because the reason for the drugs was to put us up here. I didn't want to feel this. That's why I'm drinking and using drugs. I want to be up here, dang it, right? And now, no matter how much I drink, no matter how much I use, it's not going to work anymore because the brain's reset it. And there aren't any drugs that'll take me up over this anymore. So that leads to binge drinking, to binge using. That leads to depression, anxiety. It leads to all the worst parts. I mean, I don't have enough time on my video to be able to name them all off, right? It leads to a whole bunch of problems, basically, and a lot of sadness, really. For me, it led to rock bottom. It took a while to get there. When I hit, man, I hit hard enough that I really felt it. I knew that I had to get things right, and that started by figuring these things out. I needed to know stuff like this, right? Because I was just out there feeling around in the dark, basically. And these things really helped me. So there's a little bit more to this. We'll move on to it and then get to the optimistic part, the solve of everything. And once again, this is how I learned it, and this is how I understand it. And I'm simply relating it back to y'all guys. So after all this is normalized again, right? We'll call it normal. We get off the drugs and the alcohol. Now, things are, well, they're not normal. For us, the feelings are really terrible, too. Because now we go back through to our day, right? Starting at the morning when we start and get up, and then, you know, we have lunch, we have all this stuff. Because remember, 1 now is where 3 used to be. So, nothing we do ever, no matter what, passes this boundary anymore. Normally, we should be drawing this with 1 down here on baseline. And this would have been a really good day. It's not anymore. And it's not going to be for a while. Because just like it took the brain time to reset this, it's going to take the brain the same amount of time. Well, that's a lie. To my experience and from what I've learned, it resets a lot faster to normalize than it reset like this. So we're talking 3 months, 6 months, 9 months. That starts normalizing. For me, it was at the 90-day mark. I really started feeling it. And there's another reason for that. It's THIQs have a thing to do with this. It'll probably be one of the next videos I release. So if this interests you and you like this, check out my video about THIQs. Probably take me a week or 2 to get it put out again. Or get it put out next. So what's going to happen, though, eventually the brain's going to catch up and realize that this isn't right either. We're not experiencing those spikes anymore. And it's going to drop back down again and right itself. The problem for us in early sobriety and early recovery is that it takes that time. And every day that we wake up feeling crappy, we want to drink or use so that we can hit those places again. Even if it's just a 1 and a 2, we just don't want to feel below 0 anymore, pretty much. You know, and that makes it hard. Those trigger relapses. Those cause mood swings, anxiety, depression, sleep deprivation, obsessive sleep, obsessive thought patterns, stuff like this. And the only way to get through it is literally 1 day at a time. Though it will happen, and eventually we'll get back to a much happier place. The takeaway for it, though, is that we aren't trying to get back to a different time in life or anything. We're building a better life. This is life 2.0. And this time, I'm paying attention. When my life hit rock bottom and I had to decide to become a better person, I realized that for me, it seemed like I hadn't been paying attention my whole life. Like I didn't take it seriously, or almost like I thought I was going to do it again, right? And nowadays, though, with everything leveling out, with the knowledge of myself, the realism to face the real world and not be deluded, the open-mindedness to learn, persevere, and continue to grow, I have probably the most wonderful life a person could have. It's simplistic, though it's really good. I hope that y'all guys are doing well out there and building the lives that you want to live. And I hope that in some ways I can help. Never give up, never surrender, because you're worth it. And remember, I believe in you.